Hello and welcome to this episode of the Elementalists. Last we left off, we followed Toran as he navigated the intrigue of the court of Garan. Throughout his meeting in the council chamber, convincing the many nobles of Garan to appoint him for the position of Crown Prince, so that they may have a proper heir to the throne alongside Emali, the princess. After this meeting, they held a grand ceremony to congratulate Toran and to appoint him as the Crown Prince. During the ceremony, an intruder broke into the grand hall and shot Toran with what seemed to be a gun. Now we follow the tail end of this ceremony as our knightly hero, Gwimdar-Hash Ernuli Babakar takarr, being one of the Poco guards of this ceremony, rushes over to the body of Toran as he is convulsing, having been poisoned by the intruder.
Physician, is there anything you could do for him? I'm trying my best. Everything I'm trying is not working. It's almost as if when I give an antidote to the poison, it absorbs the antidote and creates a new, mutated, and stronger poison. I've never seen anything like it. It's like it's not of this world.
Gwim looked confused.
Choke.
Gwim looked out through the window that the intruder had gone through. He looked at the king.
My king, I will make my way after the intruder. I will find him. Go!
Gwim charged after the intruder, jumping out the window, breathing in the water from his pouches, and slamming it into the ground to give him lift, launching him through the window. He then breathed in more water to create extended water whips to push him and keep him lifted above the city.
Oh, where is he now that I've had practice?
He landed on one of the rooftops, looked out. He couldn't find the intruder.
Where could he be? Where is he? To find him.
He continued to look out. That's when he spotted something. A small figure jumping from rooftop to rooftop. That had to have been him. He pulled out his sword and readied himself for battle. Not as the gentleman, but as a Poco.
I still have a job to do.
He launched himself forward, carrying himself from building to building. Faster and faster and faster, he was catching up. The intruder turned to look back at him, said something to himself. The intruder looked back at him. He said something to himself, took in a deep breath, and pushed himself into the air using the wind.
An elementalist. Wonderful. There are so many elementalists in the city right now, apparently. First that crazy woman, Rhea. Now this.
He pushed himself to the limits, breathing in as much water as he could, pushing himself as far as he could, carrying himself across the city, launching himself from building to building, finally getting closer, catching up. The man turned to look at him.
Sorry, but you're not catching me today.
The man turned, lifted his weapon, and pointed it at the Poco. Bye-bye. He fired. It made a cacophonous noise, but Gwim had already seen it in action once. So when he saw the man pointed at him, he moved to the side, the bullet racing past him. He lunged forward, lifting his blade and shoving it in the man's direction. But the intruder was too fast. He dodged out of the way, pulled out a piece of metal, bit into it. Nothing like a little iron in your blood. He raised his hands, bits of metal floated up into the air, and he launched them at him. Gwim looked shocked. Chuck jumped out of the way, many of the pieces piercing into his skin. I need a heavier coat. He looked up at the man. The intruder looked down. Sorry, my friend, but I've got places to be. He then took a step back, off the roof. Gwim rushed forward, looked over, but the man was already gone. Chuck!
Oh, I can find him. I'll have to tell Rhea about this. Her master as well. Oh, this is not going to be well. First, I must tell the king.
And Gwim rushed back as fast as he could to the palace. When he got there, he came in and went to the king.
He got away, my king, but rest assured, I will find him. He will not get away. Good. Until such a time as he is found, you are excused from all other duties as a Poco. Dedicate all your time to finding him. Go.
The king leaned down towards him.
Even if that means going at night. Mr. Gentleman.
Gwim's eyes widened.
You knew? I'm the king. Of course I knew. Understood, my liege. And if you will, when I return, there is something I must discuss with you. Very well. Go.
He nodded and made his way out. Before the night approached, he knew he needed something new. He went to the headquarters of his new friends, Ray and Cole. When he made his way inside, he was met by Cole.
Mr. Cole, do you happen to have any better equipment? A heavier coat that is more resistant to damage, and a better battle cane that uses a different kind of metal, perhaps is resistant to metal elementalists' control. Yes, I think I can provide that for you. In fact, I was already looking for it.
Cole went up to his room. When he came back down, he brought a nice hardy coat of thick material and a cane. This cane is made out of Ethereum. You can use your elemental abilities through it. It is able to harness them and enhance them. I trust you will use it well.
Thank you.
As night was fast approaching, he put on his new knightly gentleman uniform.
Are you coming, Rhea?
Rhea looked over.
I don't see why not.
She put on her coat and sheathed her 2 rubrum blades.
What are those made out of?
My rubrum blades? They have this coat, so I have no idea.
Very well then. I suppose I'll ask later. There's an objective that I have tonight. That is to catch the one who shot the Crown Prince.
The Crown Prince was shot?
Yes.
Well, that's not good.
Chuck. Let's go.
They went out into the city. As the night had come,
I think we should start by getting intelligence. We need to find information brokers that might have any idea where this intruder came from.
Yes, that is a good idea. I'll follow your lead, gentlemen.
Of course. However, I feel as though we should come up with a name for you.
No, I don't think that's necessary. After all, the people came up with a name for you. They can come up with a name for me.
Very well. Understandable.
he made his way to an information broker. He tried to find one that he hadn't used very often as a POCO. If he went to one of his regular contacts, well, he might recognize his voice. They looked out. They looked for one of the brokers. When they had finally found him, Gwim looked over.
I will do the talking.
As you wish.
Excuse me, sir.
The broker looked over.
Well, if it isn't the gentleman, I bow to you, sir. What can I do for you?
Looking for information.
I would say so, considering you came to an information broker. It'd be kind of silly if you weren't here for information.
Your sarcasm is not appreciated.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it too. Sorry. Go ahead, gentlemen.
As you might have heard, the Crown Prince was recently attacked. I am looking for the assailant. This intruder.
Oh, that information is going to cost you.
What do you want?
Information of my own. Who's under the mask?
Ah, well, you see,
He took out his cane and launched it forward, up against the chin of the broker.
I give up. Okay.
I'll
tell you. But I'll have you know. Attacking a broker, not a good look. None of the other brokers will talk to you again.
I don't care. I need the information. Where is he?
Well, he is with Madam Wind.
Of course he is with Madam Wind.
Madam Wind, that's the leader of the... That's the leader of the Shankers, isn't she?
Yes. I had a run-in with her not too long ago. I suppose it's time that I pay her another visit. It's only right that I pay a visit to the lady as a gentleman.
Of course, gentlemen. Now let us go.
They cruised over the rooftops. Rhea having a little more difficulty, as fire was not as easily maneuvered for roof hopping. But even still, they found themselves at the home base of the Shankers.
I came across her. She beat me, because I was unprepared. This time, I will be.
He breathed in water, and he ate earth. As she looked around at the burning oil lamps. The fires flickered out as the smoke came up and drifted into her source. She breathed out, smoke covering the entire warehouse. Many of the people started coughing.
Brilliant. Let us begin.
Gwim jumped into the smoke, letting out just a bit of water to create a bubble around his nose and mouth, keeping the smoke out. He pushed his way through the smoke, slamming his cane into the thugs, knocking them out one by one. Rhea also was rushing through, although she didn't have any issues breathing in the smoke. Her rubrum daggers were glowing through the smoke. She could easily be seen. They were rushing towards her, but it seems that's what she wanted. As they were rushing towards her, she jumped up. Flames erupted forth, consuming them, burning them. She breathed the fire back in before she could lose too much of it, and before she could do too much damage to the thugs. Before either of them could continue any. The smoke was blasted out of the warehouse. And there she was, a royally pissed off Madam Wind. You know how difficult it was to wrangle in those thugs? I have to get a whole new group after I kill you. And who's this? A new lady for you to escort, Mr. Gentleman? You can say that. He grabbed his cane, slamming it into the ground. And what's that supposed to do? Nice fancy new cane. When he lifted it up, earth sprouted out from beneath Madam Wind, slamming her right in the chin. Oh, if I was an Earth Elementalist, that probably would have done way more damage. Good thing I'm resistant.
That's right. That's why it was a distraction.
What? She looked around. Rhea dropped from behind her, slamming her blades into her back. Sorry. But there was no way we could not hold back against you. She pulled her blades out, and the woman fell, face first into the ground, dead.
Very impressive.
The intruder pulled out his gun from the balcony and shot Rhea. Gwim looked over. Look out! The bullet hit her. She started foaming, but she gritted her teeth, and she put fire throughout her entire system. Fire came out of the wound, searing it shut.
Well, I've never seen anything like that.
Chuck, that was impressive. Well,
now it's your turn, Intruder. You tell us everything you know.
I'm not sure I will. The intruder pulled out 2 metal rods and jumped towards Gwim. When he slammed him down, the 2 metal rods extended. Gwim slid to the side. He pulled his cane and he slammed it into the side of the intruder. The intruder was knocked back.
You piece of filth!
He slammed his 2 rods into him. Gwim blocked them with his cane and pushed him back. Rhea came from behind, swinging her blades. The intruder breathed in air and created a bubble. And created a defensive air bubble. Her blades bounced off of it. The intruder then took his chance to thrust his metal rods into Rhea's chest. But Rhea was prepared. Back off! A concussive wave of energy shot forth. The intruder was slammed against the wall. The wall cracked as well.
What on earth?
What can I say? Thunder is a great element to have.
That's impossible. Just great. Chuck, that is always impressive.
The gentleman rushed forward and slammed his cane into the intruder's skull, knocking him out.
Well, that wasn't so bad. You alright, Rhea?
Yeah. I'm alright.
You are bleeding.
Yeah, well, his rods were tipped, so they pierced me, but I'll be fine. Chuck! That must hurt.
You keep saying that word, Chuck. Are you choking on something? No. No, that's not what it means. It means what the...